Oh, hello, hello. Look, my name's Henry Woolf, and I'm going to read you a bit from my new book. It's called Barcelona is in Trouble. It's a memoir, and the bit that I'm going to read is about the Second World War when I was evacuated from London, the big city, during the war. Hundreds of thousands of children were evacuated from the big cities during the war because of the fear of massive bombing attacks. And so we found ourselves in the countryside. We'd never been in a place like that before. You know, I'll tell you something, being bombed is very frightening, can be. But I found being evacuated in a totally strange place, in a really strange place to me, far worse. And it was odd, you know, I lived in, most of the war I was evacuated to a little coastal town by the sea called King's Lynn in Norfolk, a very flat country like bits of Saskatoon. And it was a time when most of the German Air Force was in Russia, but they left several hundred bombers in the West. And at this time, June and July 1942, I think they bombed us for 30 nights in succession, yeah. And we knew when they were coming. They're always very punctual. They're coming under the radar. We're on the coast, 8 o'clock at night, and the cry would have gone up from my billet lady. That was the name we gave to the lady of the house who kept the house going. And she called, "Come on, Henry, the Germans is coming." And we'd race down to the shelter. Well, what I didn't realize, I was at a English high school, we called it a grammar school, that there were going to be exams at the end of the year. I didn't know that. But most of my so-called friends did, and they were scribbling away in the exam room. I didn't know a thing. I looked down on my page, it was blank. I could hardly have done worse. And I was in despair. What was my father and mother going to say? What was going to happen? That night, when I said my prayers, my mother had always said, "You have to pray every night for your family." And I'd say, "Please God, look after Mom and Dad and the cat and my brothers and sisters." But this night, just as a shout came up from downstairs, "Henry, hurry up, the Germans is coming." I added, "Almighty God, I know you're very busy, Almighty, what with the war and everything, but I would be really, really grateful if you could help me with the exams." And you know, the Almighty, blessed be He, is always open to a penitent heart. And that night, the Luftwaffe and the German Air Force dropped enough incendiary bombs on my grammar school to burn it almost to the ground, and exams were cancelled. The power of prayer is not to be underestimated.